Hi everyone, welcome to NAF Tonight. I'm your host, Joel Sutherland. For those of you who have seen episodes of NAF Tonight, you know this is a time that we get to share a little information with you. And it's not in an email, it's not in a text, not in a phone call, but in this video, which we hope you'll find a little informative and maybe a little more relaxing and perhaps maybe just a little entertaining. So tonight, we're going to share some of the many advancements our community has realized over the last several years. Our Chief Executive Officer, Andrew Rosen, is here to share his thoughts. And we've invited back NAF's financial advisor, Mr. David Schwandt, to introduce you to donor-advised funds, to share his thoughts on how this might work for you. Finally, as we always do, we're going to introduce you to some of the many events taking place across the country that raise awareness and, well, they've been creating some great memories for all who participate across the country. But first, let's welcome someone who's become a regular to NAF Tonight. Please welcome our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Andrew Rosen. Andrew, come on in.
Hey,
there you go. Welcome
Joel,
back. Welcome back.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. We got the blue sport coat thing going on here again today.
We like to coordinate.
We like that. We like that. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. It's good to be with you for this episode of NAF Tonight. And by the way, we've got a big milestone you've just achieved.
Yeah.
And congratulations on that.
I thought I would talk a little bit about that and share some of the highlights that I think
Absolutely.
Our community might want to think about. So I just passed my 5th anniversary at NAF, and I kind of tend to think of things in sort of 5-year chunks of time and kind of look back and then obviously look forward as well. So let me just share a couple thoughts. When I started in 2019, we were 9 people at NAF. We had 9 staff members. Today we're 20, right? More than doubled in 5 years. With more people come more programs and services that we can offer. Right. That's exciting, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Yeah. Another thing we've accomplished in the last few years, we've updated our mission statement, which is sort of the, it's the real bread and butter of what a nonprofit is all about, their mission, right? Our mission statement: to accelerate the development of treatments and a cure while working to improve the lives of those living with ataxia. We sort of try to take that into account in everything we do at NAF. So let me start with the first part of that mission statement, which really focuses on research, right? That's how we're going to accelerate the development of treatments and a cure. Yeah. From when I started, just the interest level of pharmaceutical companies now in the ataxia space, right? As you know, we had the very first treatment for any type of ataxia approved last year for Friedreich's ataxia. Yeah. There are many pharmaceutical companies now working in the ataxia space, and that's not something we could have said even 5 years ago. That's right. Our drug development collaborative is on its 5th year, and again, we're constantly trying to work to make the ataxia space attractive to drug developers, right? Another way we do that is by having really robust natural history data available to them, right? To understand kind of how ataxia progresses in people so that they can understand, does their treatment help that, right? We've been able to reinvigorate our natural history study with some outside funding, including from the pharmaceutical companies themselves. Andrew, so that's exciting.
You talk about the DDC.
Yeah.
In essence, where you've got members of the pharmaceutical companies, industry, I should say, coming and sitting around a table and sharing their successes and sharing what their issues or opportunities may be, pretty competitively.
Yes. And some of the companies that are further along are willing, and they've been wonderful in sharing with those that aren't as far along. And it really raises the whole industry up together,
That's outstanding.
which is terrific.
That's outstanding.
Another thing we've done in the research space, we've added a program that we call Ataxia Clinical Training, which is training the next generation, if you will, of ataxia clinicians. Younger movement disorder fellows come for a 3-day, very hands-on training experience that we tie together with our annual ataxia conference, so that there are actual ataxia patients there that they can talk to and sort of do like a SARA rating with them in real time. And so we're training that next generation. And then lastly, on the research side, we've also launched our ACEs program, our Ataxia Centers of Excellence.
There we go.
And we've now got centers around the world that have to go through a competitive application process. And these are the centers that are the leading ataxia clinics in the world.
So
just kind of a little bit about on the research side what we've done.
That's outstanding. And then there's the other side of our mission, which is working to improve the lives of those living with ataxia.
What can we do today, right, to help people? Because as we know, research takes a long time. We wish it would go faster. We're doing everything we can, but it does take time. What can we do today? So just wanted to point out a couple of things there. One, we can help educate, right? We have got this amazing growing library of webinars. Our Ask the Expert series has been wildly popular. We'll continue to build on that and make sure that there's information out there for the ataxia community. We launched our genetic counseling and testing program a couple of years ago. No cost to the patient. Trying to get people that are ready to be to confirm whether they've got ataxia or not, the opportunity to do so and not make it a financial burden. And that program has really kind of taken off in the last couple of years. We hired our first staff member ever dedicated to working with our support groups, right? And we've got more than 60 support groups around the country. We now have a dedicated resource to help them. And on the support group front, we also held our first ever support group leaders summit last November in Orlando. Really fun to get all of the support group leaders together, share tips and tricks, thank them for their tireless work. It was a great event. I know you were there with me.
You know, it's and this is all really in the last 5-6 years or so. You know, clinical trials hadn't been taking place forever, and until roughly 2017, 18, maybe 19.
Yep, that's right.
You know, I think we all know that research never goes as fast as we want it to. I mean, we know that, but it's really moving fast right now, and that's why it's just imperative that we continue to get the support and the involvement of our community.
Absolutely. I know, Joel, one of your favorite sayings is, I think if I'm getting this right, research, money buys research, and research finds answers.
Exactly.
And so I just shared a lot of stuff with you, right? And those were just some of the highlights. None of that happens without the generous support of our community, right?
Exactly.
None of this is possible. And so from all of us at NAF, I just want to say thank you, because none of that great work happens without really the support of the financial support of everyone else.
Totally. Andrew, that's been a very impactful 5 years, first 5 years. And I know we're all looking forward to the next 5 and seeing what that brings.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, it has been exciting, and I'm really looking forward to what's to come here.
Great.
Hey, I wanted to mention, I just met one of your next guests backstage here.
Right.
And he's going to be talking about another tool that you can all use to get involved with NAF.
Right.
I just want to mention on a personal level, he's going to be talking about something called a donor advised fund.
Right.
My parents have a donor advised fund here at a local community foundation. And through my suggestions, they've been able to give to the National Ataxia Foundation through that donor advised fund. It's been a wonderful tool for them to really get involved in causes that they care about. And I think you're going to get some great info from your next guest.
That's outstanding. Andrew, thanks so much. Thanks for being with us today. And we'll be back right after this. Hey, welcome back, everyone. In our edition of NAF Tonight that we produced late last year, we asked NAF's financial advisor, Mr. Dave Schwandt, to share his thoughts about year-ending qualified charitable distributions, otherwise known as QCDs. Because of the response that we received regarding the QCDs, we thought it would be a great interest to share another way for our community to support financially the efforts here at NAF. So today, we want to introduce you to donor advised funds. So to once again help us in this effort, please welcome back Mr. Dave Schwandt. David, come on in. How are you?
Good, Joel.
Okay, thanks for joining us again. You're becoming a regular with us, and the second member of the Blue Sport Coat Club.
There we go.
Today, right?
Yep.
Well, welcome back. We had a great response to the segment we had last year regarding the QCDs, and there's always something new that we want to share with our community. Mm-hmm. And today we want to talk about donor advised funds. So, David, what is a donor advised fund?
Well, Joel, a donor advised fund actually is an agreement between a donor and the host organization that makes this platform available, where the parties enter into agreement about contributions to the donor advised fund, that the donor can take a tax deduction in the year of the donation but is not required to distribute that money to any other charitable organizations for many years if they don't want to.
Interesting.
And these were started actually by community foundations many years ago, but now are available from all sorts of financial organizations.
Interesting. Now, who might want to pursue a strategy, something like this, a donor advised fund, Dave?
Okay. There's certain candidates for this that are kind of regular that we see. Generally, it's people that, for one example, might have what I call a wealth event.
Sure.
So this might be the sale of a company, or having company stock bought back, or some event like this that in a single year would create a lot of exposure to capital gains taxation. And they may, if they have charitable intent, this is always kind of an assumption on these things, make a significant donation. If it's cash, they can deduct that up to 50% of their adjusted gross income. If it's appreciated property, like a stock that's gone way up in value, then it's a 30% deduction, but that can be carried forward for many years. So that could be one type of candidate. Another, just generally high net worth people that may not necessarily want to have their family receive too much money, and they have charitable intent and want to perhaps make a cash contribution. There's other folks, sometimes if there's no children involved, so it isn't an inheritance situation, they can do a lifetime gifting to a donor advised fund, or they can do this through their estate planning, and maybe even have others suggested to take over the administration in terms of the giving of the money to charitable organizations. One thing to keep in mind is that this gift is irrevocable. So once it's made, the organization hosting this donor advised fund platform owns the cash. And you notice the word advised is part of it. The donor can suggest to the organization, here is who I would like money distributed to this year. But the host organization makes the final decision. Now, in most cases, if the recipient is going to be a genuine 501c3 charitable organization, the host organization has no problem with it. So most of the cases, there's not an issue. But it is just advice to the host organization. It's not a requirement that they adhere to the donor's wishes.
Gotcha. Now, David, is there, for our viewer, for our communities, could you share, is there a minimum that, maybe by rule, is there any type of minimum donation or contribution that needs to be made on the front end to qualify for a DAF?
Well, that's a good question, and it really depends on the host organization. Do they have minimum contribution requirements to create the donor advised fund account? I've seen, $5,000, $10,000. I do know that a number of the organizations, if you donate over $100,000 in cash or appreciated stock or whatever it might be, they will allow that pool of money to be managed by the donor's financial advisor, and not by the in-house host's management team.
Gotcha. Now, David, you talked about a host, the host of the fund. Where will our community, members of our community, find the host? Who would that be? Okay.
So your financial advisor should probably be aware of host organizations that do this competently, efficiently. They've been at it for a long time. Their fees are reasonable, and flexibility is built into their program. And there's a number of these to choose from. Everything from the Minneapolis Foundation, the St. Paul Foundation, and then things like Schwab Charitable or Fidelity. These groups all have a donor advised fund access.
Gotcha. Very interesting. Okay. So to summarize, I mean, if somebody's looking to set up a DAF, they can know that whatever contribution they make that year is a deductible event for their taxes, and then it sits at that host until they decide on where they'd like to have those dollars distributed.
Exactly. So unlike individual gifting, where you're kind of going to run out of time by December 31st, you can get the full deduction, but wait to make the distributions.
And that takes pressure off of having to make a decision right away.
Right. One of which ought to be the National Ataxia Foundation.
Well, we hope it will be, by all means. By all means. Well, David, hey, thank you so much for your information regarding the donor advised funds, and would like to let people know that if you have any questions, that you'd like to have answered from David, certainly reach out to our office at ataxia.org and reach out to myself or any member here of the development team. David, once again, thanks so much for being with us today.
Appreciate
it. Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. So during this segment of NAF Tonight, you've been able to hear about the many advancements, the things that have happened over the last 5 years here at NAF. You've learned a little bit about donor advised funds. And just one message that we'd like to leave with you now is we need you to get involved, and we hope you will. And when we talk about we're not talking about NAF, we're talking about our research community, our researchers, our coordinators, our clinicians, all families who are living with ataxia, who are caregivers and friends of. We need you to get involved. We have so many opportunities for you across the country, be it our walk and a roll schedule that's taking place right now. We have a comedy show campaign that's been hitting cities across the country that if there's one near you, we hope you'll attend. So many things to be a part of. If you haven't had a chance to make a donation yet, we hope you will. And if it's something that you'd like to do on a smaller monthly basis, you can do a recurring gift. But anyway, any involvement, well, we all appreciate it. Thanks for being with us today, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Mike Cameron in Flagler Beach, Florida. Mike is biking the Florida 500 today from Jacksonville all the way to Key West. That's 530 miles non-stop biking. Hey Mike, how are you feeling so far today?
Pretty good. The wind is a little bit challenging. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, we got some gusts of 10 to 20 here right now. So how many miles have you gone so far?
A little over 70.
A little over 70, okay. And how many miles do you have left to go?
About 40 to 65.
Yep. And so Mike is doing this ride to raise awareness for ataxia and to raise funds to fight ataxia. So Mike, if people want to donate to your fundraiser, where do they go?
They can go to ataxia.org/Florida 500.
All right, and Mike's already raised a lot of funds, but he would appreciate your support. Mike, I can tell you that everybody at the National Ataxia Foundation is cheering you on today, and we're following you with the tracker online, and we hope you have a great ride the rest of the way.
Thank you.
And good weather.
Thanks. I hope the wind changes.